Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Artists in Residence. This is a series of virtual visits with Moore College of Art and Design's recent graduates, the class of 2020. My name is Leah Komisky, and I'm the Education and Public Engagement Coordinator for the galleries at Moore. And I'm visiting today with Nina Valdera, who has recently received her BFA in Art Education this spring. So a little bit about Nina before we get started with our conversation. She was born and raised in Philadelphia. She's an artist and educator who creates light sculptures using geometric forms that she constructs out of wood, acrylic sheets, and LED lights. Using light as a symbol for life and also as a means of creating some very meditative and tranquil spaces. She explores ideas that relate to the theme of spirituality. Nina was awarded a micro grant from Mural Arts Philadelphia for her Sight Sound Revealing the Rail Park project, and her work has been exhibited in group shows, including Da Vinci Art Alliance and the Clay Studio in Philadelphia. She's moving on from Moore to pursue her MFA at the Vermont College of Fine Arts. So thank you for being here with us today, Nina.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Before we really get started, I just want to say that, the reason why we are doing this program series is to, check in with our students who, you have all shown up with just like incredible work that you produced under some really challenging circumstances. The COVID-19 pandemic restricted, your access to the college studios. There was a lot of people have faced challenges making the transition from studio space to home space. And of course now our community is also grieving the loss of more Black lives at the hands of police. And the city is currently facing its third day of mandatory curfews. There's a lot going on right now. These are really scary and really challenging times for all of us. So I just wanted to start the conversation off by asking how you're doing.
Trying to just cope with everything. I find myself constantly looking at the news and just hard to focus on regular day life or trying. I felt like we were kind of breaking at a normal pace and people are actually starting to open up the communities and, start working again. And now it's everything's on hold. We don't even know what's going to happen next. And they're just taking it, I guess, hour by hour now, just seeing what happens next.
Mm-hmm. Given that these are the circumstances, again, I just wanted to express my gratitude for your, willingness to talk about this. So why don't we start by, I'm going to share a little bit about the work that you submitted to the morethesis.com website. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Right. So these are, a few glimpses into what Nina was working on. So these are her LED light sculptures. These are just some photos here. But there's also some video. I thought we could take a look at one in particular. This is a piece called Synchronicity. I'll just share that for a few moments. We can take that in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a slow transition, but this was the largest sculpture, well, not largest, the tallest sculpture I've made besides the Rail Park installation. And it's an iridescent plexiglass that I was using. For the COVID times, I thought it would be great to use a rainbow, signs for hope and just getting through the whole pandemic. And I did have to work at home to finish that sculpture. And luckily I was able to, get materials to complete it. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a relaxing, meditative space that I was trying to create for the gallery space for the show. Hopefully one day we'll show it in public, but I'm pretty happy with the results of that. But again, without having like the senior show, I wish I could like see people interact with it in a space. So it's kind of like just sitting there, and
where is it sitting? Where is it sitting right now?
Right now, it's in my living room. Because there was a series of on Instagram, like where you would show light outside, like your window, for like people to see, like a signs for hope and so forth in these times. So I was showing it for like a night or so, but I haven't showed it since. But I don't know. Again, like with that piece, like I was able to show it with my to the faculty and like the other seniors, and they like it. But again, like you can't really appreciate it unless like you're in that space with it. So it's kind of hard to really take in how people react to it.
How tall is that piece?
It's about 6 feet.
Oh, okay.
6 feet tall. Yeah.
That is pretty big.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And the other piece that you were featuring as well. I mean, how were those pieces interacting? How did you envision them interacting with each other?
Before COVID, it's funny. I had talked to my senior, Philip Adams. He was our class senior. Oh my God, professor for the art education majors. And we went into the gallery space to try to figure out like where exactly we wanted to display our work. And at that point, I wasn't finished any of the sculptures just yet, but I was envisioning using a corner space. So I kind of seen it like when you approach into the gallery, I thought definitely to the right-hand side, I could see that in that space. Because the second sculpture is built for the corner. It goes on two parts of the walls. I just figured it would be perfect in like the niche of the corner there.
And you were saying that you sort of chose the tone, the colors that you chose were, it sounds like a result of, the display of rainbows that, a lot of people have been doing in their windows as the result of COVID-19. Is that it? Did the project change in any other ways as a result?
Also, like tied to my thesis, I was going on with research with nature and so forth, how like I use wood in my sculptures, just trying to like figure out why that is. And like I've always been tied to nature, so I feel like that's the reason why like I do use wood in my work. And also I like creating with my hands, so it's more a hands-on aspect as well. But like taking pictures of it, I didn't submit pictures of it, but I did take it outside, and I had like reflections of like trees in the background with the sculpture. So it was just, I don't know, it was nice, especially at that point of time. I was able to like open my garage door and able to create this work like outside, where we were inside for like so many weeks at that point. So I don't know, certain aspects of it just, I guess gave me hope that, okay, we're going to get through this. And, especially with working with the rainbow, I definitely felt that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about your production process?
Let me see. It's hard. So like, I mean, I used to like sketch a lot. I've kind of stopped sketching, and I'm kind of upset that I haven't done that in my process, because that used to be something I would work out, how I want to display sculptures or how I want to create these sculptures. And then a lot of times it's working with the materials. And I feel like it kind of manipulates the way the sculpture is made, because you have an idea, but because how the material is, you have to really work around it, or problem solve. But a majority of like my sculptures, I know how I want it to look, but in the end, it comes out looking totally different. Or I had to change things around. My first like sculpture, I was going to use acrylic sheets, but in the process of making it, it was a lot of like triangle. It was a corner space again, one of my pieces where it went into a corner. It was a big triangle piece, and then inside of it had multiple triangles inside of it. And there was like a positive negative space where the light was being shown. So for that one, I wanted to put like acrylic sheet on there, but with the outcome, searching for lights to light the sculpture, I ended up using like color LED lights, and that's like what changed everything for my sculptures. Is these color LED lights where I'm able to like change the tone or transition to different colors, slow the pace down. And that piece like got it started for, the rest of my sculptures, like using these LED lights and trying to use technology to control the colors, or just doing a lot of research with that, with RGB and coding and so forth. It seems like it's going in that direction, but I still have like a lot to learn.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is.
What drew you to light as a medium in the first place, and how long? It seems like you've been working with light for a while now, right?
Since 2019, like early 2019 is when I first like started doing it. But I feel like I've always been drawn to light. I mean, I wasn't always an art major. I was a nursing major. I work in medical practice right now still. And witnessing life and death situations. A lot of it, I have to say, witnessing my grandfather taking his last breath was like the first thing that like changed everything for me. And just like being spiritual and just seeing light as a significant sign of life. I feel like that has always been something that resonated with me. And I remember like drawing classes when I first started taking like drawing classes in college. Light always had like a factor in it, like just how the shadows, the tone of it. So I feel like my work has always kind of been around it, but like in the past 2 years, I feel like it really just shifted just to like light as being like the medium.
What does spirituality mean to you? I know it's a big question.
Yeah,
It's so key to your work. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, life experiences, I feel like, because I was raised Catholic, but I've always had doubts about certain things, or I question things, and working in medicine, witnessing like things happen, you always think about like what happens after this life and so forth, or at least I do. And yeah, just I had a huge year, 2009, where I lost my grandfather and I lost his sister at the same time, and they were huge role models in my life, and always pushing for higher education. My grand aunt that passed, like she had an apartment right, her balcony. Actually, whenever I looked at the balcony, I saw Moore's light from her view. So I mean, they always had a play in my, my life. They always wanted the best for us, higher education. And my grand aunt was an artist. And also an educator. So it's just crazy how I feel like life happens and things happens. And I feel like there's signs, and they were firm believers of that as well. So I don't know, still like researching, and I'm trying to dig deeper as for spirituality. And I'm hoping with going to Vermont, I can figure out more things with my work and with research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you worked in healthcare.
Yeah.
Do you see, I guess, can you tell us about what you do in healthcare? And also, do you see any parallels at all between the work that you do in healthcare and the work that you do as an artist or as an art educator?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to become, I guess, a nurse when I was younger, when I first got out of school. I mean, my grandmother was passing away when I first tried college, and that was like it was my first year in college after I graduated from high school, and my grandmother was passing, and I wanted to do more. So I left college, and then I started pursuing medical assistance back in Philly, and became a medical assistant. And the pursuit after that was to become a nurse. So I was starting to take my classes for nursing, and I took an elective class, and that was drawing. So that's when the shift happened, where I'm like, you know what, I want to do something that makes me happy. Because at that point, I've been working in healthcare for a long time, and I'm working at a children's hospital. So I work for a specialty office for Nemours, DuPont. And I've seen a lot, like within that practice, kids being sick, and like interacting with the kids was always the best part of my job. And also, I have to say, like, what made me switch to working with children's, because my nephew was born with a heart condition where he had like 3 open heart surgeries. So I always loved working for the kids and helping the kids, helping people in general. So right now, I do work in specialty office. I was working at an urgent care, but they shifted us out of there. So it's just like the doctors and nurses right now because there's COVID testing going on. So working specialty right now, and I've been helping out, been going down to the hospital down in Wilmington, either with helping, I guess there's a traffic control of, the people that are getting tested for COVID, and also for kids to catch up on their immunizations and sick visits that they're having like outside. So, I mean, I'm in it, with the whole COVID thing, with work, affecting my senior year, and just, I don't know, it's just crazy times right now, just trying to deal with it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible that you are able to do that. I mean, do you have any time for art making right now, or is that something that's kind of on hold at the moment?
So like right now, like I'm focused because Vermont College of Fine Arts, it is a low residency program. So I would go there 2 times a year for 9 days. And that's when you exhibit your work, and they have like these talks, artists, critics as well. So most of your work, all of your work you're doing at home. So before all of COVID, I was looking for a studio space in Philly and was really having a hard time finding a space. So I still live with my folks. So there's a basement. So right now I'm converting part of the basement to my studio space. So right now I'm in construction doing that. So I guess I'm kind of getting ready to do artwork as soon as the space is available. So I can start thinking about making future sculptures.
So what does the construction process of a studio in the basement entail? Like, do you have a lot of work ahead of you? Like,
so we have the walls up. We put the drywall up and spackling and so forth. So we're now in the process of sanding the walls and painting, and then I'm going to put tiles down as well. And I'm looking into purchasing a CNC router so I can continue making some of these sculptures, but more intricate.
that's that sounds like a lot of work.
It is, but
you're probably gaining a lot of new skills doing that though, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've always loved doing hands-on things. So like I learned over last summer how to tile. So now I'm like, expertise now with that. So I mean, I'm just trying to think ahead what I have to do in order to create work with everything going on.
Yeah. So is there anything sort of like, I don't know, like percolating for you right now? Like, are you noticing your artistic interest shift in any way, like, as a result of everything that is happening right now? Or do you feel like maybe even more like confirmed in what you were interested in?
I feel like it more confirms what I was interested in. And I did join Philadelphia Sculptures. So I know that there's a current exhibit that they want to display in October. So I was thinking of an idea for that one. And I'm thinking about, I don't know, again, with layers, with wood and acrylic sheets. Almost so like with my thesis, it had me thinking more about trees and nature. So now I'm just thinking about like these I don't know, these cylinder shapes and so forth, with light, and introducing like wood to it as well, but like in layers. So it's something I was thinking about doing. But yeah, those are just like some of the ideas that was percolating while doing research and so forth.
What is the research process like for you?
For me, as far as like my thesis, or just like researching into like making the sculptures?
You can speak to either, really.
So I felt like for my thesis, I mean, I wanted to say like where my ideas come from, but like honestly, like things come to me. So I felt like I had to dig deeper into why I'm like attracted to certain things. So I felt like a lot came from like memories, being in nature, and like when I feel most calm or peaceful is like when I'm in nature, like either going for a hike or going to the beach. Just things that like make you feel calm and, relax your mind, and, not worrying about things going on, in your life and so forth. So those were the things that I was thinking of. And then just like with life and how we have like this geometric shapes are like a part of like mathematics and like nature, like with seashells, and I don't know, just like digging deep into like those types of ideas and what attracts us to nature.
So this is a big question.
Uh-oh.
Prepare yourself.
Okay.
Are you, because I'm asking because this is something that a lot of us are thinking about right now. And I think as an educator too, this is probably something that you think about often. And that is, what do you feel the role of art in times of crisis is? And, what do you think your practice is capable of right now?
Um, let's see. That's a big question. I mean, I feel like with artists, we're able to think, problem solve, and just try to figure ideas of getting people together. Whether it's to give them therapy, like for things that are going on in their life, crisis. So I was working with a clay studio, and I felt like we brought that to the community as well. Like kids who had trauma, just like being in a space with like their parent and just like making something with their hands, and like even working with elderly people, they were like, oh, I remember doing this when I was younger and so forth. So I feel like we have that craft of helping people, bringing community together, and just like, people of all colors just getting together. Like it was just like a really great feeling. So I feel like the arts has a huge impact in community lives, and I feel like we shouldn't lose any revenue. That, like, I know the mayor was trying to get that passed, but I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But who knows after all this? But I mean, we can create change, and we can also bring, out to the community what is going on that they're not aware of. We can educate them and things that are going on. And I feel like a lot of that's being shown right now, especially through all the protesting. But yeah, I feel like with my work as well, like I just always thought like there's always so much going on in your life and people's lives, things that touch you that, we need healing. And like right now, I feel like everyone needs healing. Our world needs healing, because it's not just in the United States. I see it's like everywhere. So I feel like just coming together and giving, people a space where they can just, meditate and just be in that moment. That's like at least my hope for my work. And like I was thinking before about all this, like I love making like outdoors pieces, especially when I did like the rail park. That was like, it just brought it to light that that's like what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sculptures for outdoor spaces.
So, so public art in particular is of great interest to you.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's amazing. That's really inspiring. And I couldn't agree with you more about, the healing power that art has.
Mm-hmm.
And, I definitely see that in your work.
Thanks.
I hope to experience some of your pieces in person very soon.
Here.
Yeah. I mean, so are you, the last question I'll ask you is, what is giving you energy right now? Like, how are you getting through not only like your day to day, especially given that you are doing the work that you are doing, but also like, I mean, what's giving you energy and inspiration like for your work? Are you like, is there any music that you're listening to, or books that you're reading, or artists that you are finding incredibly inspiring right now?
I don't know. As far as, I don't know. I feel like right now what's igniting or fueling anything for me is just hope that to get out of this, just trying to vision what life is going to be like after this, hoping that there's change. So I don't know. I'm thinking about creating like things for the community to experience. Like I want it to be like something, I don't know, uplifting. So that's like kind of what I'm focusing on right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of fodder. If you just open your eyes and look out your window right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just hope is what I'm like really holding on to right now.
Yeah.
Even like music and everything else, like I can't like, really focus on it, it's not really helping, I feel.
That's completely understandable. And yeah, I mean, hope is a really good message to end on. So, yeah, well, thank you again. Thank you so much really for bringing us into your home, and opening up, about some of these difficult topics. Congratulations again from everyone at Moore and from the galleries. You should be really proud. And yeah, like we can't wait to hear how the MFA program goes. I'm
really looking forward to it.
Yeah. So best of luck and thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.